What's up, rock stars? Boom! Hey, hey, hey! So today's saint of the day for June 19th, 2026. Actually, it's the same every year. But for today, it is Saint Romuald. Romuald. It's Romuald. Saint Romuald. Born somewhere between 950 and 956 AD. Back then, they didn't keep really good records. He was in Ravenna, Italy. Died June 19th, 1027 AD at the monastery of Val di Castro in Italy. He was 70 years old. Lived very long for the back in those days. Feast day, of course, is today, canonized in 1595 by Pope Clement VIII. Founded the Camalodes order of Camaldi, a reform of Benedictine tradition combining Aromatic and Cenobitic monastic life. So, get to the good stuff. Born, as I said, around 950 in Ravenna, ancient city in northern Italy that had once been the capital of the Western Roman Empire. He came from a noble family, another saint coming from nobility, and everything came along with that. By his account, he spent his early years in a typical pursuit of young noblemen, the pleasures and distractions of the world. But deep underneath, even then, he had what his biographer Peter Damian described as an infinite desire for virtue and sancticity. Never seen that word before. Okay, so the turning point came suddenly. His father, Sergius, fought a duel and killed his opponent. Romuald was present, and the violence shook him to his core. Though the sin was his father's, not his, Romuald felt the weight as if it were his own, and he determined to do penance for it for 40 days. He went to the Benedictine monastery of Saint Apollinaire in Classe, just outside of Ravenna. He arrived intending to stay for 40 days. He stayed the rest of his life. So he was not a man who suffered easily into routine. He became a monk and eventually an abbot, but he constantly drew deeper into solitude, silence, and prayer. He found a mentor and a hermit named Marinus, who taught him the ways of the ancient desert fathers and early Christian monks of Egypt and Syria who had fled the wilderness to seek God in radical simplicity. For decades, Romuald moved across Italy, living as a hermit, founding small communities, reforming lax monasteries, and spending years in remote caves and forests, and then moving on. He was not easy to be around. He was austere, demanding, and utterly unwilling to compromise on the life of prayer. Assassination attempts were made on his life. He was falsely accused of serious sin. He bore all of it in silence, sometimes for years, trusting that God saw the proof. In his old age, Romuald did not slow down. He intensified in his austerities rather than diminishing in them, fasting more, praying longer, sleeping less. He founded a monastery in Val di Castro in the Musquet of Ancona, and it was there that he died on June 19th, around 1027, at approximately 70 years of age. His biographer, Peter Damian, himself later a cardinal and doctor of the church, recorded that Romuald died alone in his cell as he had always wished, in silence, in prayer with God. Key contributions: converted from worldly life to a radical monastic commitment after witnessing his father kill a man in a duel, taking on penance for another's sin, founded numerous monasteries and hermitages across Italy over his 7-decade spiritual journey, reforming lax communities and establishing new ones. Around the Carmelite order of Camaldi in 1012, brilliantly synthesizing Aromatic, hermit, and cerebolic community monastic life into a single charism. endured assassination attempts, false accusations, and calamity with patience and silence throughout his life. See, that's a key point right there. Not reacting to what's coming at him. He doesn't respond. He just stays in his place, in his head, in his worries about the 3 feet around him. Something I talk about and share a lot about. Not responding to the actions and things going around you, but staying in that zone, as it were. Inspired by St. Peter Damian, who became his biographer, a cardinal, and one of the great reformers of the 11th century church. St. Romuald began his spiritual journey because he didn't shake what he saw at he couldn't shake what he saw at his father's duel. A moment of violence sent him into a monastery for 40 days of penance. He never really left. Over the next 70 years, that restless, searching soul founded communities, endured persecution, embraced deeper and deeper solitude, and in the end died exactly how he has chosen to live, alone with God, in silence, in a hermitage, in the Italian mountains. In a world that never stops making noise, St. Romuald's witness is a powerful reminder. Silence is not emptiness. It is a space where God speaks. On this feast day, June 19th, let's ask St. Romuald to help us find moments of stillness and the courage to stay in them long enough to hear and feel what God is saying. St. Romuald, pray for us. I hope this inspired you. If you know anybody that could, would enjoy or would get something from hearing this, please share it with others. And if you have any questions or anything, please reach out, because I'm here to share information and to help as many people as I can along in your journey. Hey, share that smile with the world, because it just might make somebody's day.